Lionel Johnson, because he's the reason why I came back to the hobby, was the lion sculpt, because I absolutely love that.
First true traitor.
Oh, fuck you!
Told you, I only do traitors. That's why I've got a Dark Angel on.
Hey!
No. I'm sorry, you must be old, because that came all the way back from 1996. Nice one, mate. Thank you.
Welcome to the In the Tank podcast. Get ready for an hour of hot 40k goodness coming in your ears. You're in the tank now, baby.
We're live.
We are indeed live. Welcome, everyone, to In the Tank. James Spesh.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, mate. How you doing today?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Ready for action.
Yeah, so we have our very own James from March of War here today. I've known James for a few years now. I was introduced to him by a friend of mine, Sam Nash, who some of you may know from the competitive circuit, as he's been pushing people's shit in for a few years now at the top tables.
Wow.
And James has a 3D printing business, which he has been running for a number of years now.
Yeah, ages
and
now.
you've been doing it a while.
8 years.
And so many of you are watching have probably got something printed by James, even without realizing it. In fact, Russ messaged me before this very podcast and goes, "Oh shit, I've actually got something that James has printed." So nice. I think most of us do. So yeah, he does some sculpts and some bits and bobs like terrain, bases, all kinds of stuff, don't you? So
yeah, man, yeah, all sorts of stuff.
Been doing it for years.
And casting as well. So going old school with resin casting and things. So
yeah, I got some of your resin bases, bro. Like for my
Appreciate
Sisters
the support.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
Sisters of Battle, man. That was the turning point for the business. That was like I was tootling along, doing very little odds and sods, and then that new Sisters box came out in like what 2019.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it went nuts. I literally had 3 months where I just didn't stop. It was just so much because I'd done those sanctuary bases, which are all fleur de lis and stuff.
I was about
to say.
That's literally what I have.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was like my turning point of I've got some bits, I'm doing some stuff, and that was just everybody wanted them. They just kept flying out the door. Yeah, proper.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Weird. That's really
Small
cool.
world, isn't it? Yeah. So we're here today to mainly focus on 3D printing as a topic. So we'll be discussing many things 3D printing, but first we're going to dive into some of our usual topics. So we'll take it away, Russ. Go on.
I love how you just passed the master of topics.
Well,
here.
you are the master of topics.
We have some 3D printing stuff today. We've got some cottage industry discussions and some resin discussions as well today.
Yeah.
But before we do, I'd like to say like, comment, and subscribe because yes, I know, because I'm trying to get that in early. Thanks to you, dickhead, not reminded me about this. I'm being hyper aggressive.
I will say,
share,
guys,
subscribe.
Yeah,
yes,
I will say the only reason why he said this so early is because he's put it on the topic list, which is cheating.
It is on the topic list.
Cheating. Yeah,
it's not really.
It is a little bit.
Not reminding
cheating.
your co-host about this is wanky, so I'm going to do this now.
I feel like it's
comment,
cheating.
Subscribe. Obviously follow March of War. Have you got Instagram?
I've got Instagram. I'm like march.of.war on the Insta, and then it links to the Facebooks and all the rest of it from there. Yeah.
I'm glad you're confident of your own Instagram.
I'm so
Do you know your website?
marchofwar.co.uk.
Hey, there you go. That's how you can find it.
There you go.
That's the important one.
Go on.
Follow us at In The Tank 40k on Instagram. Me, Count Ruskin Minis, ed'sdick.com, but also the Battle Barn as well. Follow the Battle Barn because
we're going to be going live on the 5th of April, guys, playing live Warhammer 40k.
Which, when this comes out, will be that Saturday. Do we actually have an estimated time for starting to stream?
Starting to stream is 7:30 p.m. UK time.
On the Saturday that this comes out.
On the 5th.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Wow, there you go.
So later tonight.
Fantastic. And obviously get on the Discord. We've got a growing Discord thing. And thank you very much for our patrons. You guys are the tits. Thank you very much. That's brilliant.
Legends.
So before we go anywhere, we just got to very briefly do our two kind of introductory topics. One is the news and the other one is the classic GW lean of what you're working on. But we'll do the news first. Oh my God, there was loads of reveals last night.
Wasn't
Holy
there?
Shit. Wowzers. What do we think, gents, about some of those reveals?
It just kept coming, didn't it? There was just so much.
Loads.
And we've just started talking about them, and then you told me about other stuff that I'd missed. It's I thought we'd already done well.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff.
Yeah, man.
Any particular highlights?
I am undecided on those Thousand Suns robots. I like the old ones.
They're a bit weird,
cool.
aren't
The
they?
old ones are
I'm
cool.
not sure about them either, to be honest with you. I like the concept of them. But,
But I like the concept because they were originally a thing anyway. They had the Castellan style, Castellax style ones.
Yeah.
And I like them. They're nice models. They feel very 30k AdMech, and it sort of seems weird to me that they've given them something new that wasn't 30k. It's like, where did they find them?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Warp concept.
Had them for 10,000 years. Oh, have you?
Yeah.
That was funny because nobody's seen them.
No one's seen them.
Very unusual.
But yes, they are, new stuff, so cool.
Also,
else did we get?
the corny guys got their little 8-bound.
Oh, yeah, they got an 8-bound
guy,
character, didn't they, with the arm thing? Yeah.
Yeah, he was cool.
I can tell you the one thing that I didn't enjoy because I'm not a wolfy furry and fuck the Space Wolves because they're the shittest chapter ever. Come fight me. The new huge amounts of Space Wolves reveals. Fucking hell, there's loads of shit going on there.
They were ready, weren't they? Though they were desperate.
They were
like, for one of the
chomping
most
at
the most customizable chapter that they originally were, and now they were just like, yeah, what do? We paint them that bluey grey colour and call them Space Wolves.
Yep.
Yeah, at least we've got some stuff for them now.
Mine was the new baby carrier for the Grey Knights.
Baby carrier, yeah, that's
I
nice.
love the new baby character. Baby character, the baby carrier. But yes, no, very quickly on the Space Wolves. Lol. Wolfguard, head takers, McWolfie. Do you see that we have wolves?
You play Beastman. Pack it in.
Beastman.
Yeah, I found out very briefly before this that these two both love Beastman, and I was saying,
the Beastmen.
I was saying
so
that
angry
I can
that they
imagine,
took them out of AOS.
I can imagine
I'm not,
James as like a
AOS
little
is a terrible
goat
game.
shaman at the back going like, "Meh," and like Russ just charging in as a Minotaur. It's just great.
Just treading on stuff.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I have got a saved amount of money undisclosed ready for that drop, ready to go mental and get 2,000 points.
£10.50,
Yeah, for a full army.
So I'm
So what
ready.
did they actually release on new models for the Beastmen? What did we
Nothing.
get? What?
Well,
That was
it's-
all right then. That makes me feel better because we had a new character 3 months ago, but yeah, that was it.
To be honest, it's pretty much the same as what they've always done. 'Cause
It's the 1992 Beastmen
No,
box.
I think to be fair, they've combined what would be some of the AOS returning plastic minis for the lords and the shamans and stuff, right? And
Right.
then you've got some resin special characters for this time period. That, to be fair, look really ace, including like a little one with like this little like little familiar guy that looks really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, no, dude, I'm gonna love smashing Minotaurs into the flanks of Bretonnian fucking lance.
I was going to say
formations.
I've got like 7,000-8,000 points of AOS Beastmen that have just been
Fucking
built up
hell.
over the years. It's like, well, it was because it's that sort of weird. I used to play it semi-competitively, and it's like chariots are good. I need 12. Cool, got
Yeah.
12 chariots. Minotaurs are good. Cool, I've got 3 squads of 12.
Yeah.
Cool. What's next? I need loads of Ungors. Cool, there's 100 Ungors, and so none of it was like I'm going to go and buy 8,000 points. It was just I've got a
You
couple of
built them
boxes.
up,
I've got
yeah.
this. I've got
So
and
are they all
forever
on
as well.
Are they all on circular bases then, lad?
They are, unfortunately, yeah.
Oh,
No, and even more annoyingly, quite a lot of it was actually on square bases before, and I put off putting it onto round bases for ages. So I actually took them off of round squares onto rounds, and now I'm going to have to take them off of rounds back onto squares.
Can you
so
not just get converters? You just pop
you
them
can, but I also make resin bases, so it's sort of daft for me not to just
Yeah,
go,
that is
oh look,
very true.
resin bases!
Yeah, true.
Resin bases for days,
That's very
square
true.
ones, done.
Yeah.
Which, as we were saying earlier, it's like when I develop stuff, I'm like, I need this, time to go make it.
Yeah.
So I need to rebase my entire Beastmen army. So I was like, oh, I guess I ought to make myself a load of square bases.
Lovely,
Yeah, let's
look
make
at that.
square. So it was just like bags and bags and bags of
Mate,
square
if
bases.
you want to just fling some Ed's way so I can steal them, that'd be great.
Yeah. Don't feed his addiction to
Yes,
Beastman.
feed it. So
Yeah.
my fellow beastmen.
Just buy him some Space Wolves.
No,
Yeah.
don't be a
I'm just
going to
send you like one Space Wolf.
Yeah.
No, I use it as a corpse
Bait.
on one of my bases. Also, we had Cathay, aka China, in the old world or kind of like generic Asian continent. Very cool. We've got like terracotta massive giants.
Those big terracotta statues are cool, aren't they? Yeah.
And like a lady that transforms into a massive dragon, Chinese dragon looking thing, and like lantern.
I'm quite excited about the new missions, new mission deck.
Oh yeah, true.
And they've got a new catch-up mechanic where if you're 6 victory points behind, then you get like an option where you can either have a little secondary, well, like a not secondary that you can do to score some points, or you can get like a free strat where you can sort of move through walls for 0 CP with a unit, or you can do something else. Yeah, very cool. So,
what's the name of it? What's the name of this one?
I can't remember. I'll have to have a look.
Dirty cheating bastard.
Yeah, dirty cheating bastard. I'll have a look.
Just make it up.
It's in the article. Here we go.
Okay.
It is probably. It just says chapter approved. Don't know.
All right. Okay. Cool.
We'll find out. But
I bet it's Nackmund or or
2025, 26 mission deck.
That'd be interesting.
They haven't actually given us an exact date, so that'd be cool.
And then there's also a new Tyrannid kill team as well, guys.
Yeah,
as well.
that'd be nice.
Do we get in that? Some Tyrannid.
And some Admech.
Tyrannid, aren't they like the Reavers or whatever? And some Admech in it as well, right?
Oh, Raveners. Do we get some Raveners?
Yeah,
Are they
they're
doing
like
those?
Ravener sort of.
Oh, they're Raveners. Sorry, yeah, they are Raveners.
Yeah.
They look cool. They look
do look
actually
cool.
quite sick.
They were about due. They've been a long time since we've had a beginner kit for them.
No, fair. I remember the old metal ones, for fuck's sake. Like, Christ.
Yeah, definitely.
There you go, from third. But then you've also got some crazy Admech-y stuff as well, Ed. Are you curious about that? Or?
Yeah, they look cool, yeah. I like
I didn't see
servitors.
those. I missed that.
They're like little servitor dudes and a couple of tech priesty
really
guys.
Cool.
So
and some
Nice.
wicked Tyrannid terrain as well. The terrain looks fucking sick.
talking about
actually.
Tyrannid terrain, don't you make some Tyrannid
I make Tyrannid terrain. They better not make better Tyrannid terrain than me.
Yeah, I need to
looks
get
good.
some of
It
your
does look good.
spires actually, James, because I want to get some
Yeah,
just to jazz up a jungle
to
table. At some point.
Tyrannidify a table.
Yeah, I'm not
definitely.
going to use them as actual like
Tyrannidify.
counts as terrain, but I just want to make them look cool.
So one of the things that I did when we were running them as events is you'd put 3 of the spires together and then they
that's
could
a cool
count
idea.
like a wood because you've kind of got like a spore chimney-esque sort of to give that -1
idea.
for shooting through it back in 9th. I don't know what woods do now. Probably nothing.
We
But
don't really have woods now.
they've got rid of them.
Yeah, we don't really have them. They were just like just ribbons. That's it.
In the
Just
year
ruins.
40,000,
There
when
are
trees
only
are
dead.
roses. Fuck trees. Fuck them. So that's the news then, guys. So, very exciting, and obviously, Beastmen are the best. So, what are we working on, chaps, from our own hobby
you start,
desks?
James.
What am
have you
I
been
starting
working
on from my hobby desk? So, rebasing Beastmen. Beastmen. That personal hobby stuff. So I'm rebasing Beastmen. I've just painted a massive dragon for D&D.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Oh, go on, give us a show. Give us a show.
Give us a show. Oh, wow. Is that Tiamat? Is that Tiamat?
Is it Tiamat?
That
Yeah.
is beautiful.
So the
mate.
multi-headed, that camera's not picking it up. It looks cloudy, but yeah, multi-head, one gold head, one blue head, one green head, one
Beautiful.
death head down that one, and then a yellowy, stony coloured one around there. Yeah, so, but he is a massive model. He's like a
he's
chunk
beastly.
bigger than your head.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he's quite cool. Let me put him out of the way.
How's
There
your
you go.
head?
He's gone.
I had a go.
How long did that take
complaints.
you?
That's not a question to ask me because it upsets people when I tell them how long it takes me to paint shit.
Yeah, you're quick. I know you are.
I am really quick. So I sat down at 5 o'clock in the evening and it was in bare resin with gaps in the wings. I fillered the wings, spray painted it, finished painting at 9:30.
Wow.
Fuck off.
Wow.
That would
Yeah.
take me about a month to do
Yeah,
that.
I know. It's double-edged. Like, my family are all very arty, so like from that side I've always painted and stuff. I started Warhammer when I was like 8 years old, just painting shit. I'm also quite lazy and hateful of spending ages painting, so everything I do with my painting is designed to make the things as easy as possible. I mean, some of the guys in my Discord community rage at me because, like, the other week we went to an event the last week of January and I'd got 8,000 points of Alpha Legion in bare plastic in my box. I was literally gluing the last ones together at this event. And it's finished. It was on Winter's channel a month ago. It's like I literally did 8,000 points in like 8 weeks or something. It was
Mate,
When I get you over to the barn for a game, I'm just going to leave you locked in here for like a week.
For me.
Because I would just be like, I'll leave my Death Guard on the floor and like a tray of food.
Oh, see, Death Guard is so easy to paint. Like I could do Death Guard in my Sam always winds me up because my 30k World Eaters have got a Death Guard hue because they're white and they've got the blue and then they're grunged down. He winds me up saying that they look like Death Guard, and they're not. They're my World Eaters, but I could paint Death Guard so quickly. I could do 10,000 points of Death Guard in a couple of weeks, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, this is sorcery. It is
witchcraft.
You've actually made like a dark pact with the Chaos Gods.
100%. And also, I have no loyalist armies.
I mean, to be fair, Russ, the blurry camera adds a lot to like the speculation of how good the model is. So like that's how you do it. You get away with it. You just sort of like don't let the focus quite catch it, and you're like, look, guys, how amazing this dragon is.
Bright bit up here where it's just catching the light funny.
Just get the base colours on and be like, yeah, look at that. Whoop, it's gone.
Cool. and it's that sort of like things that people are scared of. Like, I mean, OSL with an airbrush. Yeah. Like, yes, people do amazing jobs of it. You can also do it fairly quickly and dirty and be like, that actually looks pretty good for saying I spent like 40 minutes doing an entire army's worth of OSL. Nice. So like pop colors, using like your color theories and things as well, making sure you've got like this matches with that, and then have your accent color and do it all on the color wheels. And color theory makes a big thing. Get
a colour wheel, people. It's the way forward.
Get a colour wheel. Honestly, it's like you want opposites. So if you're doing 2 colours, directly opposite. If you're doing 3 colours, 2 are opposite.
Triadics.
And then pick your exactly.
There
Pick
you
your
go. See, we know what we're fucking
you know
talking
your
about.
stuff.
We know what it's doing.
It ain't no thing.
What have you been working on, Russ?
Mate, I am grinding my way through. I've just finished getting my Inner Circle companions to tabletop standard. I'm now doing a unit of Scouts, ready to own your ass on stream next week. So
you
that's
can't
cool.
beat me on my own stream for the first game I ever play. That's not acceptable.
I can.
No, you can't.
We've got a score to settle anyway, mate.
That's true.
So it's all good.
That's true.
And I'm also eating my way through my Possessed for our big team event as well coming up.
Yeah.
And I think I'm sick in the head because I really enjoy painting Chaos Space Marine trim. So having a great time on that.
Yeah,
you see, that is a job that slows you down.
I'm a proper heretic, I think. I just like it. I just like filling in the lines. You know, it's cool.
Dry brush.
I know. I like it.
No,
fuck off. I love it. Just all you've got to do is have brush control, boys. That's all it is.
Yeah,
you have. But also, if you do heresy, they don't have all that trim. So it's like chaos armies.
Again, with word bearers, you could kind of like do some kind of crazy.
You could
put
a bit more in.
I feel like James has actually stolen one of those like magic animator brushes where they just sort of go da and it just fills all the paint in on the arm.
Like talks, she's like, "What are we painting today, lad? More beastmen. Let's go!"
I mean, my beastmen are a really grungy scheme, but they were ridiculously quickly painted. That was like early days of Spirit Wash, and I smashed out so many beastmen so quick for a tournament, and it was just like, yep, that'll do. I think it was worse because I was doing my 2K chariot list, and my mate was running a Cygor Doombull Minotaur list, so I ended up painting 4,000 points of my own literally in the week for 2 of us to run at the same event.
Oh wow, that's cool.
You're a lunatic. I don't know how you do this. You make me feel sick.
Speaking of making us feel sick, what are you working on, Ed?
I actually did do some hobby. I actually did do some hobby. Somehow managed to sneak some in. It's only because when we've just been on holiday and we came back and we were a little bit jet lagged. So my son decided to get up at 5 in the bloody morning, and he actually even though he's 2, he quite enjoys Warhammer already, which is a dangerous sign.
It's like chewing it.
No, he actually quite likes watching me build it and like getting involved. Cool. I said to him, "Do you want to help Daddy build something?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Cool," because I actually needed a second Doom scythe for my Necrons list because I'm running quite a fun little memey Necrons list. So we built my Doom scythe, and then I spray painted it black, and we did the first layer of the gold on there for my Doom scythe. So I have actually done the start of a model, I know, right? So that's all I need for this test stream that we're running on Saturday. So that'll be good fun. So I have actually done something.
Did you give your son better instructions than me when I came
Yes,
painting
he
them,
actually
you know?
did put the brush on the model because it was just the wings are so big on that. I actually trusted him with it. I was like, just go nuts.
you
You
can do
can't really get this wrong. Just chuck a load of gold on there, have fun.
Nice.
So he was enjoying it. And then the rest of the time I've just been painting the barn. I had to repaint some walls and I varnished the table, which is good because that thing was glaring like a beast in the first test stream. It was just like white and everyone was like, we can't see because the table was just like, bah. So I've done that and that looks much better now. So good work. Get in there.
Cool.
Almost ready.
Nice.
Right then, so first topic then, gentlemen. How long until the 3D printing world properly kicks off and goes mainstream? We're talking in the homes of like 9 out of 10 people, right? And like, how long do we reckon it's going to be until that happens in like a mainstream world? Will it ever happen, arguably? Right?
So I think depends which side of it you're talking about.
Right,
because so you've got filament printers, which are for making doodads, widgets, and terrain, and I actually think they're getting pretty bloody close to just viable now. Like I've always said, if you're into gadgetry, if you're into doing something, if you're someone who will buy a thing and want to fiddle with it, printing's for you, definitely. If you want a modern paper printer that you stick paper in it and shit comes out, then 3D printing isn't for you. You need to be like a 1990s printer where you have to set the tension right and get the things and get it feeding properly and all of that kind of crap. You've got to be willing to faff with them.
Yeah.
However, like the new filament printers are a little bit nuts. So I've just bought, I mean, it's not entry level, but it's 500 quid. And it prints 3 times as fast as my one that's only 3 years old.
Wow, fucking hell.
And, I mean, I've got that, which is a grenade for airsoft, but there is not a line on it. And this was the second thing I printed on this printer, and I had 0 input. I literally went, turn it on, calibrate, came back 15 minutes later and went, turn it off, memory card out, go into the software, put the thing in the software and went auto, green, go. And it went, okay, off we go. Then put me back in the machine, stuck it in the machine. And I mean, literally, I've printed things with threads and stuff before. And normally you have to tap and die them. This printed, threaded, straight out the box.
That's madness.
That literally just goes on and it's just perfect. And I also printed this in TPU, which TPU is a bastard to print with. It's flexible filament. So this is solid. This is TPU.
What the fuck?
And it literally...
Amazing. Can't break it.
There you go.
I mean, I probably could.
But not easily.
I've folded it double back on itself and it just goes bloop. There you go. Back
Incredible.
to where it was.
Sorry, the way that you would display that was like some sort of like shopping channel where you're like, look at it. You can tap it. You can
can't.
bend
It's
it.
not. I'm genuinely shocked. This new printer, I am actually shocked how good it is and
only
how easy it is.
$12.99.
Yeah, only 500 and something quid. But when you look how much you'd spend on a terrain set, you know, if you were going to buy a nice terrain set that's some big, I mean, it's 300 by 300 by 300 you can print in one bed. And, I mean, you very quickly, single big buildings might cost you 70, 80 quid a building, and the rolls of filament are a tenner, and you'll print half a dozen buildings for a tenner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, you've got a 500 and something pound printer, but it's fucking rapid.
Yeah.
That is getting towards, like, it only needs to get down the market a little bit. If it was 300, 400 quid, I'd be like, yeah, do you know what? I know a lot of people that just go, I want that.
Yeah.
Like 5, 6, you're like, oh, it's still a lot of money. Am I going to get my... But again, if you're between a few of you bought one and you could print your terrain, definitely.
Sure.
Now, resin printers, printing your models, your armies, whatever, they're a pain in the arse. They're still a pain in the arse. They're great. They're loads better than they were 10 years ago. They're messy. They're smelly. They're sticky. You need to do cleanup. You need to know what you're doing. You need to be able to support shit. Yes, auto supports are getting better. Yes, resins aren't as toxic as they were, maybe, unless they just tell you it isn't and you're all going to get cancer in 20 years and they won't care. You get water washable resins, so you don't need isopropyl in the house. You don't need all that sort of stuff. But then what do you do with all the water that you... Like, there was a guy who, I'm not going to name him because he will definitely get in trouble. He was literally water washing his resins and tipping it down the toilet. It's like microplastics and toxins and everybody's going to die. But like, this is one random dude who's being a bit of an idiot. If everybody's doing that, we're fucked. We're all going to die of horrific cancers of the
I was going to ask you, how much of your body do you think, percentage-wise, is resin at this point? Because you've been printing it like...
I have. I'm always very careful. I've got extractors in my workshop. I wear proper respirators.
Protection.
You need to.
Protection. You got to wear your protection, mate.
Yeah,
Definitely
you
wear
do.
your
Full
protection.
body condom at this point.
Yeah,
James,
totally.
I think.
But I mean...
Shuffling around in it.
It's... one of the things I always compare it to is, like, people say the resins aren't that bad. They're not that nasty. When I was 20 years ago, they said Roundup weed killer wasn't that bad. It's so safe you can drink it. And now they've removed it from shelves because it's so cancerous it's going to kill everybody. 20 years apart, like, I mean, smoking forever ago, everyone used to smoke because it doesn't do you any harm. Like, at some point, they're going to go, you know all that resin you guys were printing? Yeah, it's you fuck, mate.
Yeah,
that's
it's
why.
gonna be the
That's
same
what
with
that
vaping,
thing that you've got a mouth growing out. You
It's like, beast man. Beast man.
But I mean, like, stupid things that you can print. I mean, I've featured on Winters not long ago with my militia army, which is just all the guardsmen. So many guards. It makes 40. Like, I was talking to Sam, and Sam was like, "Oh, this guy brought a guard army to a thing, and it was like 120 models." It's like 120 guardsmen, and he's like, "I know it's nuts." And it was like, "Have you seen my militia army? Militia are 2 points a model in a game that is usually standard of 3,000 points, and so you can get them in squads of 50." For 100 points.
Oh my God.
And you take 3 of them as a single troop slot.
Wow.
So you could take 150 guardsmen for 300 points, 1 troop slot. But I was doing a Gorgon heavy transport, you know, the cool big old Forgeworld, like landing craft.
Yeah.
So I put together
Oh, wow.
these.
These are cool.
So, and I literally, they're just somebody else's models. They're not my sculpts, but I literally put them together. So they're literally printed in one piece.
That's cool.
And the idea is that they stand in my Gorgon heavy transport, and I can paint. So I paint them in rows of 8, and they drop in my Gorgon, and it holds a whole squad of.
We're like D-Dayville here, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
But it was like, I mean, what's that? 8, 16, 24, 32. There is literally just shy of there's 48 guardsmen there. It's like, I'm painting 48 guardsmen for no reason other than to put them in a tank.
That takes you about 3 minutes knowing you, probably.
That's 20 minutes, yeah.
you just get
Fine.
Done.
Done.
Yeah, bit brown.
But, no brown.
No.
Weather them.
Wow. Just weather them out of the box.
Streaking grime.
Just streaking grime straight onto the resin.
Grime. I love
Streaking grime all the way.
I love a bit of streaking grime.
Love the streaking grime.
It's the way forward. It
is.
I've not got into streaking grime yet, but I feel like I need to.
You'll have your phase, and then that'll be it forever. You'll be on streaking grime for like 10 years.
I feel like
I did Agrax in like 2010. Started painting with Agrax. It's like, this is amazing. It's witchcraft. You just put some model on, just chuck some Agrax on it, and it goes and looks good. And you're like, this is amazing. It auto splits. It doesn't coffee state. Like when you think the inks we had, the editions before, those early heavy inks. I mean, there was a chestnut wash that I used to love.
I was going to say chestnut ink.
Chestnut wash was so good, but you put it on and the whole model was brown.
Terrible. No, fuck that.
It wasn't terrible. You had to use it right.
No, it was. If you were to use that, if you were to like get some sort of time warp and use it today.
I kid you not, I've got bottles of it still here, and they're still runny.
That shit's trash. Like, don't get me wrong. At the time, we were all like, and on every single White Dwarf thing, we were like, use a bit of chestnut ink. Use a bit of chestnut. And nowadays, that shit is trash, man. Compared to a bit of Agrax or AK. But
I mean, but new Agrax, everyone was slagging off the new Agrax, aren't they?
I don't like it.
Don't like the new Agrax.
I think it's shit. I was talking to Peachy about that, and
I got through Agrax at a rate of knots. I would literally be going through a bottle every time I was painting, like bottles of Agrax. And now I haven't touched it for 5 years. I literally have got a bottle that
Does that mean you have a surplus of Agrax?
I've got a couple of bottles of it. You aren't having them.
I'm gonna have to send some sort of beastman.
Send the team round.
Yeah, be like.
Yeah. So I can't remember. Is it Snakebite Leather, the original old in the hexagon pots? Yeah. There was something for non-metallic metals,
right?
And they were selling for £100 a pot.
What?
Yeah, literally. And I've got 6 or 8 of this colour because I used to rim my bases with it back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Like a bit
Hold
of
on,
rimming,
does
do you?
that mean you're a fucking brown rimmer? Get out!
I'm a brown rimmer.
No,
well, no, I'm
get
a black.
out!
Depends what I'm doing. Depends what I'm doing. Goblin green for Old World.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Brown
I
rimming,
do
bit of
rim
goblin.
certain bases in brown,
Yeah.
but mainly black or very, very, very dark grey.
It's
I'm
always
having to
black,
resist a lot of
hard black
euphemisms
rim.
this podcast. Chestnuts, all kinds
Going
of stuff.
that way.
It's a hard word.
Yeah, magic chestnut, snakebite leather.
Did you not know about the chestnut ink head?
No, I
The old
did
silver-
know.
He's not
of it.
old enough to know about chestnut
I'm the same
ink.
age as you. Oh, well, I'm the
No,
same
you're
age as
not.
Russ.
How old are you?
36.
Oh, you're all babies.
Oh,
Really?
shut up. I
You're-
was doing the
what are you,
hobby when I was
40?
like 8.
Oh, I feel better. Come on, keep going. Yeah, I'm good. Be pretty nice.
You're 40. You're 40.
I'm
yeah?
43, mate.
43. You fucking old bastard.
I know,
right?
Fuck it, I was
Jesus.
painting Warhammer when you were still a glint in your fucking dad's eye. It's...
Yeah, well, maybe.
yeah, for just about. I literally started at
about.
8, so I was probably painting Warhammer before you were even conceived.
Well, I played a bit of
James comes
second
out
back in the
and
day.
then she's like, hang on, something else is coming, and there's a fucking first
There's
3D
paintbrush.
printer.
God, that's a
bore me.
fucking mental image and a half. That is. Christ Almighty! Wow, this is a
Where have we
surreal
gone?
part of episode
I
today.
told you we'd go off tangent.
Fuck me. So in
Bring
terms
it
of
back.
time,
So we were talking 3D printers, and
Yeah, so
are they
in
going to be
terms-
in every house?
yeah. So in
Yeah.
terms of timeline, how would you reckon? A couple of years, 5 years?
So even over this last couple of years, the filaments, they've got to the point that they're almost idiot-proof
Sure.
and are now fairly safe. They come with extractors in them. They come with carbon filters in them, all that kind of garbage. They just need to drop a little bit in price, which now that design is out there, there's already, like, the one that everybody wants, there's now 3 duplicates of it, which means if there's 3 duplicates of it that are £50 cheaper, that one's £100 cheaper. Now these drop their price. They make theirs £100 cheaper. They'll be down. They'll be affordable in the next couple of years.
You
And
heard it here.
then
Heard it
resin
here.
printers, it's still, it's trying to work out how do you make it you don't have to faff with it.
I think the problem that you're probably going to have with resin printers is as like you get more and more green policies become a thing, right? I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah,
think
'cause,
it's
I mean,
just going to
yeah.
get annihilated. I think it's just going to be like
Non-recyclable.
Nah, it's not happening.
Also,
Yeah,
resin's a bit more brittle. So, like, talking about the whole people using it in their homes for things, I can see using
A use for a filament.
for filaments, like you could see people being like, "Oh, I need to print, I don't know, a fucking
Coat hooks or something stupid.
something
Yeah.
useful for their home, like a little part for something that's broken,
Yeah,
in
definitely.
in their fridge or something. I don't know. Whereas you can't really do that with resin in the same way reliably. It's not going to be as
And
strong.
What
right?
it has different properties. That's the thing, and the same with the filaments. I mean, there are different filaments. Like that TPU is
Yeah.
really flexible. The PLA's not, and it's cheap. You can get ABS ones, but they stink like death, and they're pretty strong. Same with the resins. You can get flexible resins.
Yeah.
I would say if you're used to Warhammer in the last 15, 20 years, you'd have no problem dealing with the properties of the resin. But if you're new to it, you'd be like, this is horrible. I hate gluing it with
Yeah.
super glue. You touch them and the guns snap off. Now
hate
I've
that.
snapped all the guns off all my guardsmen. Like, if you're used to fine cast and... if you're used to fine cast, it's normal, isn't it? It's like, that's
fuck
just
Finecast.
gluing metal
Finecast.
together and, yeah.
Failcast.
Failcast is
Edgy
miserable.
opinion.
I have a very difficult opinion because I hate building Games Workshop kits. They're so good and there's so many millions of pieces and I hate it so much. Just
Yeah,
give me
you
a
see-
guardsman that's made of 6 bits and I can glue it together.
We've talked about this before.
Don't need a 125 piece kit to build 5 guardsmen.
We have talked about this before with sort of recent kits where they have been getting quite complex in terms of.
And a beautiful model, like
Oh, yeah.
faces separate from
Yeah,
fringes
yeah,
with
yeah.
bits
Yeah,
and an
that's
ear.
silly.
Just
That's
glue the
silly.
one ear on.
Yeah.
That's silly.
I don't get it.
No, just give me a fucking head.
Yeah.
I want a head, a body, some arms on sockets.
Yeah.
That'll do. Shoulder pads separate. That's cool. I can do that. I don't need shoulder pads in 2 pieces so that
Yeah,
your
that's
circles
really
are
annoying.
perfectly spherical. Just no.
They're also harder to modify when you want to do things like,
Yeah.
you know, changing a shoulder pad. Like I've been doing some Deathwatch bits recently. And
Yeah.
one of the ones that I wanted to do was, you know, that really cool Lieutenant, the one that's like a lone op, the Space Marine
Yeah, yeah.
one that came in the Leviathan box.
But you see, the characters are worse than the normal guys because they're so modular posed. Like, you've got arms that are part of an arm with a thing and a gun through it. It's like,
trying to chop his shoulder pad off. I've done it now. It's fine. But like trying to do that, I had to like cut away so much stuff and be really careful about how I did it.
The Tyranidy one?
But the Tyranid arm is the opposite one, so that's fine. Kept that bit because that looks cool. But the normal shoulder pad, I had to chop that away and replace it with a Deathwatch one. And because it was in like 2 pieces and all like built into his sort of shoulder area, it's just really hard to do. They've made it as hard as possible.
I do modular shoulder pad decals to go on that are 3D printed.
You see, that's cool.
So they're pre-curved, wafer thin, all the different legions. I do Inquisition shaped ones and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And they literally just push on. They're dead easy. A little bit of super glue, straight on, go on to standard. Because for ages, a lot of the Primaris stuff was all easy build, monopose, can't fuck with it, can't take the shoulder pads off.
Yep.
So it was like, I need a way of making these into Imperial Fists. So I get bits of commission work and stuff. It's like people want that step further. So it's just like print a load off, stick them on. I sell 40 of them for a tenner, and it's like, actually, how many you've done 40 Marines for a tenner? That's cheap enough.
That's not bad.
That's a lot cheaper than like buying the shoulder pads from GW, where you get like 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
2 Terminator shoulder pads.
One of them that you don't want.
Yeah. And then 10 normal ones for Primaris that are on the wrong fucking side half the time. Never got that.
But so that's the other one, is like unit markings, because so like for Heresy and for 40k they have different unit markings, and so I've got like your tactical, your fast attack, your devastator, all that sort of stuff, apothecary ones, tech marine ones. I do all that sort of crap as well. I've gone through and done numbers because I had a guy who really wanted to be able to count all of his squads up. So this is the 3rd squad of the this in the that company. So there's little circles with Roman numerals on them and things, and so
the sky's the limit. You can, you just can make anything, right? Whatever you need.
I mean, this is the thing. Like I say, it all comes about. Most of the stuff is either stuff that somebody specifically asked me for, but usually the things that happen quickest are the things I want. I need this because I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Or I want that because I'm going to do or I need some better buildings because the GW have cancelled those ones and they're now stupid money, and I'm not paying stupid money for out-of-date products.
God,
It's exactly.
They're all over that place with their bloody terrain these days. It's so annoying. I wish they'd just release some sets.
They make some beautiful stuff, and then they don't make enough of it to actually do anything with. Like, you can't. I like big buildings. I like big. Remember the Sector Sanctoris?
Beautiful stuff.
Sanctoris stuff
as well.
Those, But then they did so many different ones at that same era, and none of them fit together interchangeably, and none of them look right on the table together. And if you built something big with all your Sector Sanctoris, you now haven't got enough to do a table full unless you've freaking remortgaged your house for it.
And people are selling them on eBay for like $2,000, and it's fucking ridiculous. And then they bring them out like, so you finally save up, buy them on eBay, and they're like, oh, we're redoing them as a line.
Changing exactly. No.
Well.
There you go. Speaking of, sorry.
No, I was going to say, I do think we will see probably filament printers, answering your question, because we probably sort of didn't really actually get around to answering. I do feel like we're going to see those filament printers entering households soon. I do think in the next 5 years, maybe. I would guess,
especially if you only want it. If you want it specifically for Warhammer, then you need a big enough one to be able to print some decent sized bits of tray.
Sure.
But actually, just as a widget, a gadget, a thing in your house, the small ones are really small now, and I think it's going to get to the point where you see them in like the men's gadget shop kind of thing. They'll be like, buy this little 3D printer for $79.99 and it does a thing, and, and here's some free files and exactly.
It'll be a Mankind purchase.
Exactly.
Mankind. Nice.
AKA the Father's Day shop.
Exactly.
Red 5.
No, sorry, you ruined my wet blend, Ed.
No, fuck your wet blends.
I was going to be like, speaking of bad GW practices, because we were talking about how they would shit at getting rid of their previous products and stuff like that. Now, I was curious to your opinion on this, James, just in case you ever had any hassle with this, because I'm curious.
Probably.
Are G-dubs too sensitive with their IPs, especially, and this is the point of contention, considering their own settings' core unoriginality across both of their settings, right?
Yeah, that's been the eternal conflict, hasn't it? Yeah. The whole, I mean, within... Yes, no, maybe, kind of. Depends which bits you're talking about. So I think that going forward, the main value of that business is in its IP.
Sure.
Like production, it's going down. They're going to struggle. They're going to more and more are going to struggle and struggle because the prices of everything are going up, and it will reach that terminal point where it's like it's not viable anymore. Like, who's going to buy boxes of Space Marines for 60, 70 quid?
Yeah.
I mean, the new Combat Patrol for Space Marines, it's 13 models. One of them's a fucking teleport homer, and it's £100.
No. Yeah, but that's a bad deal, Combat Patrol.
That is a bad deal, but whoever's making those calls is doing it intentionally to make them bad deals.
Yeah, true.
Like, you look at so many of those boxes. I mean, I think the Chaos Demons is the prime example. You look 8th into 9th, the Chaos Demons start collecting boxes. All 4 of them were all really good because you got a character that you didn't really want, but he didn't make the box expensive. Because you want 1, you don't want 4. You get 10 of your basic troops, 10 of your elite, or a squad of your elite, whatever it is, juggernauts or flies or something. You get a dude with a flag or what's, and you were like, they were 40 quid. Yeah, retail might have been 50, but like they were. You could, I mean, not that long ago, they were £38 in little shops that were 20% discount.
Yeah.
And they were like, cool, I'll have 6.
Yeah.
Because it was worth buying 6, because 60 generic demons, a lot of now the elite cavalry sort of one, awesome. A couple of the character that you want, go on then, cool. Even the generic herald is useful. It's only when they got like the Sloppity Bilepiper equivalents and the very specific named I can only have one of you thing. But they were brilliant. And they sold for days. Everybody, I mean, I remember just going down, like, I have another one of them. Yep, 40 quid, cool. That's something to play with. I'll have that and just add it to my army. There's not many of them now that you look at and go, maybe you need 3. Every now and then you look at a box and go, yeah, 3 of that would be a nice core for a start of your army, but actually a lot of them are 1.
Yeah.
They are single-use boxes.
I think the only 2 that we could see were like the Grey Knight one and the Drakari one were like obvious, like 2 or 3.
I think the Custodes one's not bad, but you get Trajan, which fucks it. But like, also, it works well in small ranges, which I think is why the Demons used to work well, because they didn't have a lot per flavour. Yeah. Which is why Drakari works well, because you want a lot of the very specific couple of things they're selling you. Same with Grey Knight, small range. Yep. You get what you're given. It's all there is anyway.
Shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. But if you started trying to do it with Orcs, I mean, you could do with 4 for Orcs, couldn't you? You could do with the Beast Snaggers one. You could do with a Mechie one. You could do with a Commando-y one. You could do with a generic one.
Yep.
Like, for it to be like, I'm going to make an Orc army, let's buy 10 start collectings. It doesn't work for the ones where you want, I want 10 of this Orc and 10 of that Orc and 15 of those and a few. It's like,
I think
so. It's trying to encourage you to buy those £55 boxes of generic shit, the next level up stuff. The Killer cans are horrendous money now. I was like, I went to get some the other day. I was like, can't believe that. Are they 55 quid for 3? Something like that.
Outrageous.
No.
I don't know about you guys, but I find now, I know that obviously everything's more expensive just generally, and money tends to be a bit more tight these days. But like, I find that gone are the days that I walk into my local hobby store or a Games Workshop store and I walk around the store and I go, oh, that's cool. I'll just grab that and I'll walk out with a box of like, a start collecting box or anything. Because I used to do that a fair amount. And I'd be like, oh, I could do with a box of this, and I'd walk out with it. Now I walk in and I would go, fucking hell.
Phone the mortgage. Can I remortgage?
Yeah, exactly. I go back out and I'm actually thinking I should probably sell some fucking Warhammer. Like, do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, it's
100%
that's
bad.
sobering, isn't it? That is quite sobering.
I mean, like, when you start looking not that long ago, like the nice big box, like that Sisters box. That Sisters box, when it came out for the release of Sisters, was 100 quid.
Yeah.
And that was like 30 models.
Yeah.
And it was new stuff and it was cool. Now, 100 quid box is fuck all. You don't get anything in a 100 quid box. Like, all of the Greater Demons are 100 quid. In my mind, they're £65.
Yeah.
And all of the Greater Demons are 100 quid.
Knights
in my head, a
now.
big knight ought to be 100 quid. And they're not, though. They're 130.
What?
Like, yeah, no, they're nuts. The shit little knights are 100 quid. The big knights are 130.
Oh, you mean the Castellans and stuff?
The bigger ones. And the
Forgeworld
what I call
ones.
Forgeworld knights that aren't Forgeworld anymore. Yeah, but, yeah. And, like...
Questoris used to be like... Most of the time you could get them for about 75 quid, but they're like a hundo
65,
now.
70, that area, find them on a good day, you're all right.
75,
no,
85,
like,
no,
just
nuts.
With regard to their IP, like, it is very stolen, but what isn't? Like,
True.
What's not an original idea? But there's a lot of I think one of the prime ones that really always used to get me was Dune. I was massive into Dune when I was a kid. I really liked that, and I used to have the audiobooks of it. And if you listen to them, you're like, oh my God, this is Warhammer. Not even a little bit. Everything. They have lumen globes in the caves. There's just so much of the general world at large is straight out of Dune, which was, God, was written in like 1968 or something. It's ancient. And yes, all right, there's other connections, but so much of the technology side of things came straight out of Dune, and not in a bad way, but, and then fantasy, Middle Earth inspirations and that sort of things, but then they've been connected for a long time, and back in the day they were connected to D&D and things, so...
Yeah, have you ever got into, like, are you quite sensitive to them potentially being quite snippy with that IP in terms of, like, shoulder pads?
They're very controlling, they don't, so, yes.
Have you ever had any issues with that? Like, are you ever scared that one day they'll, like, get the ban hammer on you and be like, you can't now sell our fucking, like, shoulder pads, like...
So, in theory, you can't. Like, there's so much of their stuff, their IP is controlled, but basically, don't take the piss with it, don't use the direct words... Don't say. The one thing they actually have more of an issue with, as far as I've come to, is they hate you putting any connecting words to Warhammer, Games Workshop, that sort of thing. If I'm like Space Marines, so the problem is, like, if you think, I think the best analogy for it is cars. Like, you can buy a Vauxhall Astra's aftermarket alternator. Well, they can't call it something different because it's an alternator for a Vauxhall Astra, but they can't call it a Vauxhall Astra alternator. It's an alternator for a Vauxhall Astra, and so they're not saying this is one of your things. Yeah, they really. So the only times I've had real dealings with their legal was through some of my naivety when I first started, was putting Warhammer in tags of names to get things to places, and it's like. It's not Warhammer. Compatible with Warhammer. For use with Warhammer. Fits Warhammer Space Marines. Fits Legion Astartes. Works with this. Yeah. Brand, March of War. Producer, March of War. Sure. Made by, March of War. Like, very much, not Warhammer. Like, they don't, they really do not like that.
I think it's their, like, keyword specific things as well, because obviously, like, they're starting to obviously create their own IP tag words that they can then obviously trademark, like Drukhari, Eldari.
When they went through and had the Cull, they got rid of Eldar, they got rid of all that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly.
And you know, whether Adeptus or whatever, right?
We always said, how are you supposed to trademark Imperial Guard? You stole it from Star Wars. It's
exactly. So like by creating these like they're all like the Lumineth or whatever instead of elves or whatever, or like Aurochs or whatever instead of like orcs. Then all of a sudden you have all of these trademark terms that you can then like restrain a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think about this, Ed? Have you encountered anything?
In the far future, there is only copyright strikes.
Exactly. No, it's a difficult one. I've seen this a lot because I do search about for various sort of bits and bobs, you know, third-party bits. And
third party's been around for ages.
Yeah, so and I do see where you're coming from, James, because it is always sort of Warhammer agnostic stuff, isn't it? You know, you can't link yourself directly with it. It's always, you know, you're sort of trying to make a fancy name for it. You know, you're sort of like saying...
Space Vikings. Yeah, my Space Vikings are the Space Wolves. Yeah, all my stuff that is upgrade bits for Space Wolves is the Space Vikings.
Like Pain Elves or... You know,
Pain Elves is good. My favourite is Gloomy Angels.
Love me some Gloomy Angels.
Gloomy Angels.
Yeah, so it's stuff like that. But I do think, obviously, there are ways around it. And I think clearly, if they're not bothered by that, that's great, because I think it's nice that you're able to create these bits and not have them come down. I don't know
how not bothered they'll be going forwards. I think the bigger they get, I think things like their connections with Amazon and stuff like that,
do you think that might
strain
come down
on them too? It brings big... they already had loads of clout, you know what I mean? They're big, but Amazon's immense.
Sure.
And if Amazon have financially vested in their IP, or whoever they go with... Because, traditionally, like the games, I've always thought they've been weird with their games because they're dead strict about their IP, and then they just used to dole out contracts for games to to nobody companies and end up with shit games connected to their IP.
Yeah.
And it was always a bit, why did they do that? And then, I mean, Space Marine, new Space Marine game, big game, looks beautiful. It's fucking boring, but I find it such a vanilla game. It looks great. It plays fine. I only managed like 30, 40 hours out of it for an 80, 90 quid game. Like, it was a little bit flat.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. I just want a
not
new
a bad
Dawn of War
game.
1. That's all I'm after.
So you get like loads of comments being like, "Fuck off, the game's brilliant," like that.
But no one's really playing. I don't think I know very many people
game.
who are still playing it. I personally.
And I don't know many people who played it a lot. That's the thing. I mean, I think the one that really before it was Helldivers, because Helldivers was massive. We got 200 hours out of that for a 30 quid game. That's good value for money.
Yeah, that was very
90 quid game,
actually,
30 hours was like, oh man, I bought it. I'm bored now. Should we go play Helldivers? Go on then.
Yeah.
And I think they've announced their next Space Marine game as well, haven't they?
They have.
Yeah, number 3.
So another one already.
So, I mean, I think going back to it, I think you probably looking at it like going forwards, one of the things I could see them getting a bit shitty with is symbology. Like, because I think they've been like this with transfers before, transfer sheets and things like that.
Yeah,
where I
really
think they've had, things like shoulder pads having the actual Imperial fist icon or Ultramarine icon.
So the one that's is the two-headed Aquila thing. That's one that they've actually got trademarked and are really funny about.
There you go. Then.
But it's meant to have one eye open, one eye closed.
Oh, so you can just put them both open.
Both mine are open, mate. Put some green stuff in that eye.
Yeah. Emperor's waking up.
It's difficult, isn't it?
It is.
So, like, the IP with the wordings and stuff, I completely get. Like, they don't want you shouting out that this is their stuff. I get that. Kind of difficult to trademark a cup with some blood drops above it.
Yeah.
Kind of difficult to trademark a fist. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's all their iconography, so I'm not going to say they're not going to.
Yeah. Just a way to see.
I mean, one of the things that got shut down, there was a site that used to do SVG pictures of all their decals, and that all got shut down and taken down. And that was literally just free SVG files of all of their decals, which meant you could put them on and print your own decals and stuff. And that all got took down.
I guess they may get a little bit more sensitive as time goes on with the whole 3D printing revolution thing, because at the moment, the status quo is like, at the end of the day, even if you want to buy third-party components like spare heads or shoulder pads, at the end of the day, you still got to buy your core kit first, unless you obviously 3D print that right, to obviously modify that kit. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you still have to, in theory, buy the original kit, right?
You do, yeah.
But obviously, as time goes on, or through other sources, you may not necessarily need that, and obviously, you're going to be way more spoiled for choice.
Definitely.
Obviously, with some options that we may talk about later in the rise of our favourite hobby companies, are sometimes better than G-dubs, like Sculpts and stuff, right? So, you're going to be in this awkward situation, I guess.
So, I mean, for a long time, GW, they always used to instigate like a percentage proportion for conversions and things.
Yes.
So, like, I mean, back in the day, it was mega. It was just like, do what you want. We don't really care. And then bit by bit, it kind of got a little bit more like, as things like Cromlech and Victoria Miniatures and the big boys out, Artel, I mean, all that sort of stuff.
Artel, that new Lorgar, like so good. I want that so bad.
Are you word bearer-y as well? Do I take it then?
I am.
I've got a massive word bearer army.
See, I knew you were right with the Beastman. I knew you were all right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You're having a bit of a bromance, aren't you? Beastman, word bearer.
I'm going to sit over here.
Yeah.
But like, interesting. I mean, goddamn, dude. Like,
but I think so. Like with this percentage thing, they used to say like, as long as it's a standard standard G-dub kit, and then you've got bits on it, or you've got green stuff on it, and you've got heads on it and things, and it's. Yes, they were fine, and bit by bit, it's got less and less and less, and we've got more and more of a problem with different bits.
And now they're like at an official GW event, you're not allowed anything like a third party on your models at all without them getting.
But that's only at their events, and also it's if you're a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I take bits of my stuff to Warhammer World, and I don't take full printed models, but like my Alpha Legion are plastic kit, 100% real army. Different guns, upgraded shoulder pads, things, different flags.
They're never going to know, are they?
Well, they'd have to really spend some time looking. And I get a lot of love from the staff. They like it. They're into the hobby. They get it. And I don't walk around going, look at my 3D printed stuff, like fucking handing out business cards and shit. Yeah. But, well, there was a guy there. We went to an event a couple of years ago.
You
and
need one of those card guns and just go,
March
of war, baby.
Spraying like heads and fucking shoulder pads. Like going into like main hall.
We were at an event a couple of years ago, a few years ago now, and the guy had got a fully printed Orc army. And it wasn't even just like direct copies, it was completely fucking different. And it looked cool. And the first game went by and nobody said a fucking thing. And he spent the entire break bragging about how this army had cost him 2 bottles of resin. It was like 25 quid's worth of resin to print a 2,000 point army. And look how great he looks. G-dub pricks. I don't know why I'd bother. And he was being a dick. And they asked him to leave, take the models and get the fuck out. Oh, who knew you'd come to the fucking home of Warhammer, call them pricks, show them your fake stuff, wave your knob around, and then, just don't be a twat.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Yeah.
And what I do, and you'll remember this, is like old man hobby as well, right? Is like, and obviously how they've changed the goalpost. That's all right, mate. You carry on. You call us like fetuses, so whatever, mate. It's fair game when you call us fucking like specs. So like back in today, in White Dwarf, they would like show you how to build shampoo tanks, right?
Yeah, totally.
And they'd be like, in order to build this crazy Imperial Grav tank, use Head and Shoulders and like trim it off and stuff.
Trim them off, like all sorts, like the cardboard Baneblade. Cardboard Baneblade. It was literally multiple pages. Glue it onto cereal boxes. It had
very
the fold
Tracy
tabs.
Island. Very Tracy Island.
Much.
If anyone gets that reference, but
totally.
I do feel like they've lost something over the years of that.
I'm friends with quite a few of the old school sort of staff. I've got quite a little circle of XG-dub like the old boys, and that's one of the things that they all say. It's like it really lacks the love.
Heart.
It really lacks the hobby.
It's all about the dollar now, mate.
Yeah.
It's that.
It's having
dollar.
shareholders. They need to make more money for their shareholders. That's all it is. Unfortunately,
I think one of the prime examples of it is Trench Crusade.
Yeah, man.
Trench Crusade, man. Like, that's all old G-dub staff doing their thing, making a game that's brilliant, and it fucking plays so well, and it's beautiful, and they've got everybody on board with it, and it's great, and the models are cool, and it's... I don't want to say it's free, because it isn't. You still got to buy the files and things, but, like, comparatively, if you wanted to go nuts with it, you could go nuts, and you've spent a couple £100 rather than thousands.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to jump in, because this is a prime wet blend. I'm going to get it in now when I can, like, in terms of getting into our next topic, right? Smooth. So, unrelated to Trench Crusade and other independent companies making independent models and stuff like that. What is our favourite independent hobby companies? Why are they so prevalent now? There you go, see. And what are some of our favourites, right? And why are they so prevalent now? Like, why is it a thing now that you have all of these third-party places? Obviously, apart from March of War, of course. Like, hello
You've
there,
all got to
hello
go
there,
to,
hello there. Why are they a thing? What are some of our favourites? Why are they a thing, James? Why do you exist?
It's viable and affordable for people. Like, for businesses, I mean, I think everything. With my first 3D printer that I bought commercially cost me $7,500.
Fuck.
And one of my more recent resin printers that is better than it cost me £400. It's like, it's viable, which makes small scale sculptors have always been out there. There's loads of little companies making little things, but printers weren't. The printers weren't. That was the thing. You know what I mean? There was a lot of green stuff sculptors, which are fucking brilliant, but different.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, being able to print masters en masse, I mean, shit, you're up there with the big guys for hundreds of pounds rather than tens of thousands. I mean, you're not hitting G-dub production levels. But as a small scale producer, it's viable. Yeah. You can prototype stuff in your house. You can print out what you've just made. You can sit in Blender or ZBrush or whatever you use for your sculpting. You can make something, even if it looks like ass, but you can print it. You know what I mean? And the availability of files, like being able to get bits and mod stuff, and like so good. And I think with that push, some of them have embraced it. Some of the other companies have really embraced that side. I think Raging Heroes, they were an old school casting company that used to do sort of third-party stuff for G-Dub, equivalents, like models you could use instead of. And they've really lent into the Patreon side of doing things and the producing every month some new content, new files, things to use as, things to go with. Like, I think moving forwards with that was great. I think Victoria Miniatures do as well. I think they do is it Victoria? One of them? I can't remember. What I think, yeah. And so I think having them being able to produce, because all the will in the world, if you're trying to produce and only sell physical, you're as limited as your production capability. But if you're able to then, well, my sculptor's always busy because they're always making every month. We've got new releases. Like the output of some of these sculptors puts G-Dub's release schedule to shame. Yeah. It's like, I mean, G-Dub are throwing stuff at us all the time. God, some of these Patreons are throwing 50 models a month at you.
Mental.
For a tenner. You know what I mean? £10 Patreon. Here you go, 50 models, 50 unique models, including a giant dragon, half a bar room, a serving wench, whatever it be. And there's different ones for all different flavours of gaming. It's nice that the you got to get your server wenches, yeah. But it's nice that there's that output for them. It's nice that
But also, more importantly, I think also what is really interesting in seeing a rise of this is the demand, right? Because again, I think the reason why so many of these like third-party companies are becoming so prevalent now, and you can write a list as long as your arm who they are, right? I think obviously COVID massively perpetuated that, right? Where all of a sudden we all realized that we were working like dogs for fucking nothing, and we now need to reprioritize self-care, and some of that does involve your hobbies fundamentally. Definitely. And it made us all readdress that and go, actually, hobbies are great. And also the millennial generation getting a bit older and a bit more nostalgic as well. I think it's helped loads.
You also reach that point, though, whether you've got kids and the kids are start getting involved in it themselves, or the kids are getting older and now they're not in the way anymore, or vice versa, whichever bit of that schedule you're in. Rather than being 20-somethings running around drinking and partying, you're like, I'm at home with the kids. I guess we'll get the Warhammer out.
Yeah. As it should be. That's parenting done right.
Get them in the painting mines. Get an airbrush in hand. Teach them how to do OSL on the whole army in 10 minutes.
There you go, see. There you go.
I recruit my children for building. I hate building plastic kits, so my kids do it.
Very nice.
I mean, Seb's like 16, so he's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, tenner, mate. Build me all those boxes.
He probably does a better job than Russ. Russ doesn't even remove his mold lines.
Fuck off. Suck my dick. Like
Sam doesn't do his mold lines either, and I'm going to have him about that while we're on live.
Can you have Russ about it as well?
No one notices. No one notices.
Noticed,
and they're
so that's not true.
When they're painted, you little shit. I was going to you. Okay then, Ed. What are some of your favourite like third-party companies? Mate?
I think I've loved. Well, first of all, I think what James was saying about like Rise are just loads of little independent ones that do random bits and bobs. That is very cool because you'll find random ones that just sort of cater to a very specific niche,
to whatever you want.
Yeah, for like a really random army or sub-faction of Space Marines or some very specific thing, like whether it's Death Watch shoulder pads or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the guard. One of the prime was guard. Like back in the day, I remember my mate trying to do a feudal guard.
Yeah, there you go.
And he was buying the musket pack of Cities of Sigmar before they were Cities of Sigmar, those kind of guys, flintlock rifles, and putting them on all his guardsmen. And it was like, oh my god, you're buying 3 kits to build every single model for an army that's fucking 4 points a model. It was like, oh my god, you're gonna Whereas now, I bet if you went online and looked for guardsman rifle, you'd be like, oh look, there's some really nice flintlock rifles. How much are they? Oh, 40 of them for 15 quid. Cool.
So those things are super cool. I do think things like what you do with obviously the bases is really nice. Because if you can just like one of the things I find really frustrating with armies is basing, because it's one of those things that is an additional step that people they overlook a lot of the time when they're coming up with a scheme. And we've talked about this before on the podcast, where it's like
bases and bases.
Yeah, you do need to really think about your bases because they are a massively important part of your scheme, and they do really impact how the army looks when they're done.
Really ties a scheme together as well. You can really, really make or break it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I paint on plastic bases, and and then paint my bases and then put them on.
Yep.
And when you're doing that, you'll be like, these look shit. They don't look finished.
Yep.
You snip them off and stick them on finished bases. And you're like, oh, there we go. They're finished.
Exactly. So I think things like that, again, awesome. You know, having nameplates all over your bases is a bit wanky, but you know, that's
you
just
need to get fucked. No, this is a meme on the channel because I do it with all of my characters and stuff.
all of your characters or every single model in your army, Russ?
Fuck off!
Only
Ed!
custodies. Really long names that go all the way around
that's
the back.
what Russ has got, but like every single fucking model, like his scouts
Shut
have
up,
all got
you
like
foul bitch! Full Matt Berry. You fucker! No.
But anyway, so another one of the ones that I really like is, as we mentioned earlier, RTLW. I've got a couple of things from them. I really liked, it really annoyed me because, you know, the Inquisitorial agents used to have like that Cherubiel guy.
Yeah.
I've got that
the
model.
demon host.
Yes, the demon host.
Yeah.
That is such a cool model. Things like that. I love shit like that. They're just really cool, unique sculpts. I'm just going to build him and use him as just an Inquisitorial agent because fuck you, Games Workshop, for removing him because they don't have.
You know, in the new book.
No, they don't exist anymore. But I'm just still going to have him as an Inquisitorial
agent. You'll have to
agent.
excuse my lack of slightly current 10th edition stuff because it's.
I know you're about.
I'm not playing it.
Yeah, it's your age. Don't worry about it.
I am. I hate change. Leave it fucking alone. If you leave it alone, I'll play it.
I want my guns to jam. I want my
guns
to jam. I want my vortex grenades. Give me my vortex grenades and my overpowered
In all honesty,
weapon.
I enjoyed 8th. I enjoyed 9th.
I'll get James over for a game in the bar and he'll be trying to do directional armor and scatter fucking dice, and I'll be like, no, James, that's not how it works anymore.
I hear you film a lot of penetration in the battle bar.
Yeah, that's like After Dark OnlyFans.
Oh, look at that synchronicity.
Yeah.
There you go, see. There you go.
Go and visit their OnlyFans.
Yeah, please do.
That's what the Patreon see, right?
Yeah,
it's all good.
exactly.
Some of my favourite companies, quick.
Go on.
Mezgeik miniatures.
Oh, yes, you
that
talked
make
about
the
that.
Dredge, the Dredge for
They
the
are
Death
very
Guard.
cool.
The Bioshock Dredge Death Guard.
They are cool.
Fucking amazing.
Beautiful.
Love those. We have a lot of love for Mezgeik. I will double up on the Artel purely for the fact that new Lorgar. Oh my fucking god! I dropped my yogurt so hard when I saw that Lorgar. I was like, I want 10 of them.
Did he almost become Slanesh Lorgar?
Well, he made a noise.
Well, he also has the 4 Chaos God like things on it, right? Which
Yeah,
is cool.
he's nice.
Well,
He made a noise that was. I thought he was actually saying the name of the company because he went, Tell W Miniatures are so great.
And his eyes crossed a bit.
The Chaos Gods. But also, like, weirdly, the rise of, like, you know, a lot of extra hobby, like, elements, like, obviously, orange brushes for the UK. Absolutely love those. The Colour Forge sprays, of course.
Yeah, Colour
great.
Forge are amazing.
Two thin coats.
I have to say,
two thin coats as well.
Those
Two thin
Colour
coats
Forge
are good.
cans have got such cool design on them as well. Like, I don't know if you
They
guys
look
have seen
fab,
that. They just look really cool, don't they? Whoever
do.
designed those cans did an incredible job.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. And, of course, I love P3 paints and my new favourite P3.
Oh, you like the
range.
P3 stuff, yeah?
I love the P3 stuff myself. I think they're the shit. They're the shit. But yeah, like, you know, like, it's spoiled for choice. What are your favourites apart from your own company, obviously, James? Like, what else do you like?
Many. So I think Maker's Cult for producer for files and stuff, just phenomenal. And they've been going forever and ever. I've been on their Patreon forever and ever and ever. Whenever we get something new that isn't in their range, they just bring it out. They just keep like, I mean, my militia are based on their Valacorp. Their Valacorp are based on the old Krieg. And so, I mean, Krieg aren't technically heresy, but dudes with gas masks and trench coats are totally walking around in heresy.
Sure.
But we got all with the new release of the Guard stuff, we got like the 100mm base gun platforms, those ones. So they did all the stuff that matches in with that in all the different ranges, all the different flavors. Like, they're so, and I mean, that the Valacorp's such a tiny part of what they put out. Their content is immense. They've got a thing called Iron Hive, which is robotic Tyranids.
I've seen them on stream. They're fucking
nuts.
cool.
So beautiful.
They were
and they get such perfect sculpts. And you look at it and go,
Games
oh my
Live.
god, it is a Lictor.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a robot Lictor. Oh my god, it's a robot, whatever it is, rupture cannon
very
thing.
cool.
Yeah. That nailed it.
Yeah.
And so many other things. And then, so they're, I think they're three guys who are the main core of it, and then they have like guest sculptors coming in and doing a special release every month for the things. So that's really nice. You just get you find new people who haven't perhaps got as massive a following, and so that's just real community driven.
Yeah,
like helping everybody out. And I mean, they're making good money. Like they're making nice money. 3 dudes sculpting stuff, having fun. And yeah,
it's all some grassroots stuff, and it's great for the community. It's nice to see these sort of things on the table, you know. Definitely. And especially like in the US, it's quite big, it seems, because they don't give a shit about 3D printing in the US. They love it. In fact, it seems encouraged, and especially in Australia.
Yeah, Australia's huge.
Yeah, because obviously they can't afford to buy Games Workshop in Australia because of the bloody price of it. It's like twice as expensive.
I think it's more than that. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Thrice as
expensive. 3 or 4 times expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back when I was first started, I'd got a couple of mates who lived out in New Zealand, and they used to buy my shit and tell me to send them out Warhammer with it.
Yeah,
it's
send
like,
it by dolphin.
It's like literally just buy a load of my stuff.
Dolphin.
Your Warhammer, sir.
Literally just buying my stuff, and like because it was just such a huge markup difference, they'd be buying. I want this.
Mm-hmm.
Get that ordered off Warhammer. Yeah, lob that in my box and send it to my mates. It was like can't afford to actually do it otherwise. It wasn't like an open service. It was just for a couple of friends, but they were saying like it just saved them so much.
Speaking of things that Australians would never be able to afford in terms of this, like Forgeworld. As our final topic, lads. Look at that
You've been doing some creamy blends today,
I know, it's creamy as fuck. I have to get it on track.
You've been really trying to force them in a bit, but they've been good.
It's because if I don't try and direct this conversation, we'd still be on our first subject like an hour later. So it's fine.
You're doing well.
I need to be judge, Judy, and executioner. So,
I'm not Judge Judy and executioner.
Judge Judy.
Judge Judy and executioner.
First reference.
Yeah, that's
excellent.
So, what are our favourite, just to finish off today, what are our favourite non-Australian Forgeworld sculpts?
Oh, man. There's so many. I think, so like, it's a market that's almost not had a massive amount of stuff of late.
Well, because it's kind of being phased
they're trying to wind it down.
Really.
Yeah. I mean, the Necromunda, all the Necromunda characters are pretty. They're lovely models. I like the Necromunda stuff. A lot of Trish's old sculpts, they were phenomenal.
Monster Girl Trish, she's a ledge.
Yeah, so some sick stuff from her. The Tyrannid stuff, I think the Dimacharian, the no longer Titans, the little Titans, they were nice. They were like fat Carnifexes.
Yeah.
I was hooked on those for a bit. Like back in the day, we used to go to Warhammer World like all the time. It's 20-minute drive from my house, so we'd just go drink in the pub and eat some shitty food and buy some Warhammer. And like I think I've got about 12 of them because they were literally like 30-40 quid when they first came out. They were so cheap. And I mean, you've got to think at that point Land Raiders were like 20-30 quid. So like you are a different world of how cheap things were.
No, I remember Land Raiders being 25.
My first Land Raider was one of the old ones, and I paid $8.99 for it.
I feel like
that from G-Dub. Yeah,
that has a real like kids book vibe. My first Land Raider.
Crazy. My first Land Raider, and I saved up for like 3 months to get that or something. It was like, I've got 25p pocket money. I could buy some chewing gum, or
it's
I could
still the
stick
same
it in
fucking
a box.
Kit.
But the original old one with the little tiny, and then the big tracks around the outside of it.
The ones that look like the new Horus Heresy Land Raiders, right?
Yeah, the next ones.
Yeah.
It was the fucked up before version of that.
Sure.
Like the pre-Proteus. Yeah.
Wow, pre-Proteus.
Yeah, pre-Proteus. Yeah, they did. Yeah, but they were cool. Like, but Forgeworld, like definitely some of the Nid stuff. Cool. The dragon, they did all the.
I remember the fucking massive dragons and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's the massive. In fact, the massive dragon is on my desk at the moment, the corn one, because I managed to pick one up secondhand off a guy.
Wow.
A couple of years ago, and I was like, I'm going to paint that, and it's like, fuck, am I? It's massive. It's huge. It actually. Do you want to see the difference between that one and that printed one?
Go on then.
It is. I'll find you a wing, and you can laugh your arse off it, mate. It's so big, like.
We're getting live dragon feeds in the
live dragon, like so that was the printed guy. Yeah, he's all right. That's the body.
Oh my god!
Off of the corn dragon, And that,
Oh wow.
he's got a leg missing because he's in processes of being filled and
shit.
gapped. And he had a dude who sits on his back, and then the wings, I might have an intact
For those of you
wing.
listening along, it's about
It's
4
a
times
massive
the
fucking
size.
resin dragon.
The wings, they're in 2 bits, so they're going to... Oh, mate, it's just ridiculous. It's
Oh, wow.
like,
Oh wow.
That one
oh
goes
wow,
on...
that's one wing.
That's
That's
huge,
one
yeah.
wing,
Jesus.
which is literally the size of my fucking face, on the side of a dragon that's already like
Yeah,
the
that's
size of
big.
my torso.
Yeah, nice.
It's
Hefty.
immense,
That is
and
a-
it weighs a ton.
Please don't sit on your
You could
D&D
kill a
dragon when
burglar
you
with
come
that.
back.
You could like
Oh,
smack
mate,
someone around
yeah,
the
if you
face with
threw it at someone and got a spiky bit, it'd definitely come out the other side.
Yeah.
So that one's great. And then all the little dragons. I used to really like, they did like the golden dragon and the underwatery elf dragon one. What's that called? Can't remember.
Wow, yeah,
It's got a
this is
stupid
before
name.
my time.
But before my time, thanks.
Hey, dude,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah,
man,
before-
when you call us fetuses, it's so good. Like
You've really taken that personally.
Yes.
It's because I remind myself of how old I look every day. But there we go.
Oh,
it's
you're
so good.
fine, Russ. Chill your beans.
You're fine.
You're fine. You're fine.
baby.
You're fine.
go
What
on.
about you, Ed? What are your
So,
favourite?
what's yours? Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I really like the Seraptech heavy construct for the Necrons just because of
Oh,
how
yeah.
ridiculously
Oh,
monstrous
classic.
it is. And they've stayed
Yeah.
really on theme with it, which I love.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool one. I also really like the Word Bearers, like mutated sort of dreadnought that they have.
The Margle Dreadnought.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very nice textures. Very nice. What's it? Really shitty Gumby pose.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it is a bit. Yeah, it is a bit.
it's a very and because of the way it was sculpted, it's incredibly static. You can't
Yeah.
repose it.
Yeah.
If they'd have made that with posable knees and
would have been
stuff,
cool.
that would have been really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is a pretty dreadnought. Yeah,
Yeah,
they are good.
I didn't. You see, I'm not a massive Forgeworld man because I've. Oh, actually, one other thing, I do like the Moiraxes, the old lightning locks.
Yeah,
Moiraxes.
yeah, definitely.
I'm not
They're
a massive Forgeworld man, to be honest with you, because I'm not big on resin and previously metal models. Just generally speaking, I don't really like working with it because I found that paint just looks different on certain older fine cast resin.
I respectfully disagree with that. I weirdly find it okay.
I find paint on fine
I like
cast
it.
resin. On like good resin, it looks fine, but on old resin, it looks crap. I find, but like I'm talking fine cast. But I think that's just me. But I just don't really buy resin because of it. And also, I've just never had the need for massive fucking great big models, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So
They do some really nice small models as well, though.
They do, but they're mostly Horus Heresy, a lot of it, and I haven't played or a lot.
That's
of them
what I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
And also like things. So some of my favorite very quickly.
Go on.
Argutal, love
yeah.
Argutal
Argutal's
from the
great.
Heresy.
Yeah, definitely.
And a present from you, Ed. Thank you very much. Lionel Johnson, because he's the reason why I came back to the hobby, was the Lion
Yeah.
Sculpt, because I actually love that.
First true traitor.
Oh fuck you!
Told you, I only do traitors. That's why I've got a Dark Angel army.
Hey!
No. I'm sorry, you
like
must
you,
be
James.
old because that came all the way back from 1996. Nice
Yeah,
one,
it
mate.
did.
Thank you. Yeah, I love the Yetis from Blood Bowl.
Yeah, they're cool.
The classic Squigoth.
Oh yeah, you got to
Squig
like
off.
a squig off.
The normal one or the big one?
Either,
Both,
either,
all of
they're
it. Put them
fantastic.
together and give them a baby.
But my absolute favourite, which is still one of my golden fleeces that I will get when I sell a kidney or my body, which
Oh, I know what
either
it is.
or, you know what this is,
Manta.
right? No, this is my ultimate thing. Mate. The big old Chungus tank known as the Mastodon.
I've
is
got
like,
Mastodon, that's fine.
Fuck,
I've got three of them.
Oh, fuck you! Oh, how dare you! I just want one, you greedy bastard. I
They're
want
so
just
funny,
one.
and they're fun in Heresy as well. Do you know what they're really fun to do? They're really fun to fill with Galvor back and drive them across the table.
I just want to put like 30 Deathwing Terminators in there and just storm them through. Like, it'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
What I like to do is blow them up in your deployment zone on turn one. That's always funnier. Just like, kaboom!
No,
Out you go. Everybody's stuck. You put your really slow-ass Terminators in it, and now they're in your deployment zone on fire.
How easy were they to build? Because I really want to get one.
I had one that was absolutely perfect to build, was phenomenal, was a joy, was a dream. I had one that I could have hit with a hammer. I hated it. It was so, and all genuine Forgeworld ones. And I had the last one I built was all right. That was fine. It was the one in the middle was awful, and it's probably 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and it was when Forgeworld was like, everyone was saying, "Don't buy Forgeworld. It comes bent and nothing fits." And oh, guess what? It did. Right. It was awful. Yeah, they were having a bit of an off week.
Was the good one that you bought recent or before that?
The original one was like not long after they came out, so that's forever ago. That is like not quite 20 years ago, like 2011, something like that.
Oh, was that the good one?
Most recent one was in the last 2 years, and it was good. It was all right. They're just a lot of money now.
Yeah, 400 or something.
Yeah. So the nice thing for me is because I do bits of commission here and there. Somebody says they want Mastodon. It doesn't bother me how much it costs. You're paying for it. So, yeah.
That's true. But yeah, I just love them. They just look so cool. They just look.
They are a nice, interesting. So I think on the other side of the same coin, there, one of the things was building the Exterminatus laser for the Mechanicum for 30k.
Well, that's cool.
That thing is stupid big. It is 24 inches long and cannot be set up in the deploy. It has a directional weapon that's center line mounted, and it can't face the enemy when it starts the game because it's too long to fit in a deployment zone.
That's quite funny.
That thing's huge. I mean, I don't know if you've seen them. They are ridiculous.
Are the Lord of the Rings Oliphants Forgeworld?
No, they're plastic.
No, they're plastic.
The Mumax are plastic.
Yeah, nice. They're cool models.
Olivon, yeah.
Although they do Lord of the Rings Forgeworld minis. For
some of it's resin, isn't it?
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just seems to be what they do for like the specialized games, right? Like Necromunda and stuff like that.
See, I think the little guys for Necromunda and things, Blood Bowl, definitely. That's the way to do it, because it doesn't have... I'd like to say it doesn't have enough of a following for it to justify, but like surely making 72 Space Marine Lieutenants as special edition single models wasn't worth it either.
Space
you know what I mean?
They just released a new one today, announced a new one with the Space Marine.
Of course they did. What else were they going to release? And I guarantee you it wasn't one that anybody fucking wants. It's not what anyone's asked for.
There you go, see.
Yeah. The red light, I think some of the problem with Forgeworld was the original whole premise behind it was it wasn't meant to be, here's your amazing one-off massive centerpieces. It was meant to be the bits that we don't sell enough of to justify it having a full range. It was meant to be short run. And I mean, some of the early short run stuff did stay very short run and disappeared quite quickly. And then they kind of just kept bringing it back, And I think as a production thing, it's quite time consuming compared to just making shit in plastic.
Yeah, I agree.
If they've got that production level.
But bring on like Mordheim, and it's nice to see some of the old world stuff be brought back in Forgeworld resin.
Mordheim.
Well, exactly. But I know that all the Beastmen beasts are coming back as proper resin, so like the Doom Bull and like the Cockatrice. Jabberslythe. Is that how you pronounce it? Jabberslythe.
Jabberslythe.
I've always wondered that.
Great model.
It's great, but that's coming back in Forgeworld resin this time. So
it's fine. Good. I've got a couple of them already. I'm good.
Fair play. I want to collect all of those monsters.
I literally every single one of the stupid monsters. The only thing I haven't got is a Chaos Dragon. I want a Chaos Dragon, and the problem is the real Chaos Dragon's a bit of a shitty model. It doesn't actually even match with the Beastmen, does it? It's like it's too early for that.
You could just make your own one, James.
There is some nice ones out there. I have been looking at the options. I'm only dabbling on Old World a little bit at the moment because I'm struggling to have anyone to play it with enough to play it enough.
Yeah.
But given it's the only thing I'm missing from the Beastmen army, I'm gonna have to get a Chaos Dragon.
There you go, see.
And a Chaos Giant.
It'd be rude not to.
I need a Chaos Giant. That's something.
Double-headed giant.
I've got the double-headed guy. What's he called? He's got a name.
I can't remember. I thought there was a double-headed dragon called.
There is a two-headed dragon.
And he had a B at the beginning, and I can't remember. Too long ago.
The book is next to my knee, but I'm not going to bend down and pick it up.
There we go.
In fact, my two-headed giant is there. I can see him.
He's just got
he's got
endless, massive resin minis.
So this up here is my shelf of pain.
Me. Wow.
That's not even. That's just stuff that lives on my shelf, and up there is one of every Primarch bought on the week they released, basically at Forgeworld. So there's a shelf of Primarchs. Top shelf is things like there's the new What's the massive deal? Kabanda and Samus. Kabanda and Samus are up there. There's a
memes.
blood
Good
that,
memes.
yeah.
There you go. So just painfully
James just
unaware
doesn't
of
get
the
that
memes.
reference at
No,
all.
that's
No,
got
sorry.
it.
No, we had a stupid
Kabanda?
reference to
Do I do that?
Kabanda.
Kabanda?
No,
Yeah.
don't worry.
No, fair enough. That's a cool. Do you know what? That's a Forgeworld model that's pretty fucking cool, actually.
Yeah, he's
Kabanda.
cool, yeah.
He is good. Samus
Big
is
old
quite
wings.
a nice one, although very dated now.
Yeah.
I think he suited first edition Heresy better than second edition Heresy.
There you go. See.
He's not quite dark enough for the new one, I don't think.
Well, we should ask our precious listeners what their favourites are. Drop it in the comments, please, because we would love
Please
to
do.
know. And thank you very much, James, for appearing on In the Tank. Did
No
you
worries. Thank
enjoy
you for having
yourself?
me.
Yeah.
That's the quickest hour and a half ever, right? That shit went by well
just
fast.
went-
it.
But obviously, check out March of War's awesome stuff. I bought their stuff
Thank you
over the
very much.
years, and I had no idea that obviously that was what
No, I'm here.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Please do.
Nice, cheers, dude.
Show some
But
support,
thank you
guys.
so much for coming on, mate. That was wicked to see.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
No, it's good
Did
to
you
have
have
good
fun?
to be here. Nice, yeah. Good to have a natter. Yeah.
Yeah, good
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Little net.
I yeah. It's what it feels. It always feels a bit weird at the beginning, doesn't it? And then it's like, oh, now he won't fucking shut up. Let's get rid of it. It's like
No,
we've
don't be
started him on
silly.
a subject. Shit.
No,
I was just trying to direct us. Like,
you did a
as
very
we
good
go,
job,
isn't
to be
it?
honest with you.
You
It's
need
hard.
those,
Thank
those
you.
paddles. You move
Yeah.
them around.
Still easier than Quipster. Bless him. Like,
Yeah.
that was the hardest. Like
Yeah,
Quipster
yeah.
was the hardest by far.
But it was our first
What,
guest as
Off
well.
tangenting or
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Bless him. Like it was tough. It was a tough one. But
Yeah,
he's a
it
great
was.
guy. So calm
He's like,
down. Right. Wow, I need to get the horn, Ed. I do need to get the horn.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you very much, my beautiful co-host, Ed.
Thank you very much, my beautiful co-host,
sexy
Russ.
man.
Yeah.
And I'll be looking forward to doing the stream with you, what would be this Saturday now.
Yes,
right,
it
when
will
this
be.
comes out. So
Yeah.
tune in, 7:30 on
Yeah,
Saturday
if you guys
night.
aren't subscribed,
on the
we
Battle
are
Barn.
battle_barn on YouTube. And I think we'll also be live on Twitch, hopefully, if everything goes well. So, yeah,
Oh,
Nice.
find us everywhere.
cool. All
Nice.
exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Ciao, everybody.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, James.
Bye.
Cheers, dude. Thanks, guys.
Bye.